Wah, I do say, good sir, wah, what a jolly good time for a wah. Welcome to SOVL Gentlemanly Orc Edition. SOVL is a turn-based strategy game pitching two fantasy-style armies against one another. If you're familiar with Warhammer Fantasy, the tabletop games, you'll be right at home. If not, you'll pick it up very quickly. As you've seen from the title and thumbnail, we'll be playing as the Greenskin Tribes Warchief. Particularly, we're going to be playing only Orcs, because they are, of course, the most refined and elegant of all races. Play with the alternative picture because we earned it last time. See what that looks like. Our Orc Warchief, of course, comes with his own distinguished unit of Orc Warriors. Naturally, we'll take some more Orc Warriors. That's the best possible option. We won't debase ourselves by involving the lower classes of the goblins. This is purely an Orc Warrior run. And between these, no goblins, thank you. Rather, we'll take some orcs, and of those, some mounted, the true nobility of the orc upper class. There you go. All orcs all the time. Here's SOVL Act 1. So, rather simple game. We start on the left side of the map and traverse our way over to the right side, taking through these stopping points, generating strength for our army to fight bosses at the end. Cross swords are battles in which we pitch our army against an enemy army in exchange for gold and experience. We spend the gold at these shops where we can purchase new units of fancy orcs, no goblins, and then upgrade the ones we already have. Random events we'll see as we go through. They can do any number of things. Hire some mercenaries, get some magic items, things like that. The big swords here are harder battles in exchange for more gold, the elites, and then last but not least our campsites where we can rest our valiant forces. Typically you want to avoid campsites if you're doing well, because more battles of course let you generate more gold, so you don't have to go through that. You probably want to come up here. Now for our path, all of these units can be named, so I'll give you I'll name one of them as a test case to kind of give away what we'll be aiming for. So they're not the green brawlers, how unrefined. They are the Leamington Spa lads. Okay, so the riders and the Warchief and his unit, of course, can take names. So whatever upper class or suitably priggish name you can come up with, you can attach it to these. For our path, I think we'll take as many battles as possible because we want as many orcs as possible. Never have too much of a good thing, so we'll go up here. That will give us a load of fights, and then there's some elites here we can smash through and then maybe heal before the boss. Roaming brigands will face a band of ruffians. So SOVL is entirely predicated upon the rolling of six-sided dice, so to determine who gets to go first, I roll a dice, the enemy rolls a dice, whoever rolls higher gets the first turn, the enemy rolls higher so they're going first. For this, what I intend to do, the picture in the bottom right reveals what we'll be facing, so there'll be a unit of archers on either the right or left. So to outfox them, we'll place the boar riders in the centre, because then we can run them forward and flank them either side, and we'll put the warriors on either flank. So they might be so far back I can't actually reach, but it's worth a try. Yeah, they've cleverly tucked themselves in the rear. So be it, there's nothing I can do about it. Although it gets easier when they dim-wittedly step forward for no reason. So the 10 archers shot at me and fired down one valiant orc warrior. How dare you. So what I'm doing is I'm using the X key and the C key to reveal my charge radius and the enemy charge radius. Relatively straightforward, as long as you're not being seen by the enemy. So as long as you're outside of this blue arc, they cannot declare a charge against you, so you're fine. The downside for me is, though, I'd rather like to try and get my orc nobles here, the bull riders, into the flank of the archers, which is a bit difficult because I just don't have the movement for it. I think I might have to take a front charge, which is okay. I could do this, in theory. But if you hover the enemy unit, you can see that they each have a quadrant, so a front, two flanks, and a rear. To charge into a particular side, you have to get the majority of your unit into one of the particular quarters, so if you follow that line down, we're nowhere near majority left, so we have to come further this way. But if we go far enough to escape, then I'm afraid we're not going to be able to actually see them to complete the charge, which is a shame. I suppose I could ignore them for a turn and just charge them next turn. I'll do this and then jump up and hit them in a moment. This allows the archers an additional shot, but we intend to heal anyway. Swordsmen have stepped forward. We can disregard them by doing this. The archers volley my poor orc warriors again, but we're rather hardy, so we can endure it. Now we can run straight by this irritating swordsman unit and get into the side of the archers. Allows my orc warriors here to hit the swordsman. Turn 3. The archers can see us, of course, but the AI will never declare charges with ranged units, so we can disregard them. Charge our riders into the side, and then the swordsman unit can be double flanked by both orc warrior bricks. Our Warchief's one party trick, his war cry. He rallies his fellow chums to exact brutal vengeance upon the hated foe. +1 power for everyone, which is important because I can now explain what that does. So you can have a look at these stats on the left and right for each enemy unit. So the first thing you do is look at the number of attacks to determine, lo and behold, how many attacks the unit gets. We have 2 attacks each, and there are 5 boar riders, therefore 10 attacks. That's 10. And then you have to roll 2 rolls in order to do damage to an enemy. You have to roll a hit roll. Of course, you have to hit the opponent, and then you have to roll to wound them, or rather the enemy gets a damage save to stop themselves from being brutally murdered. So to determine the hit roll, you look at the skill of the 2 units. We have skill 3, the enemy is skill 3. Skill is equal, therefore we need a 4+, or rather the result of a 4, 5 or 6 on a 6-sided dice will count as a success. You get 4 hits, and then the enemy gets to save. Now why our Warchief's war cry is so good is that it's with all the bonuses stacked. We have a base power of 4. The hand weapon that the boar riders are armed with gives you an extra +1 power when you charge, so up to 5, and then Warcry gives us another one for 6. So to the next roll, that little save, that shield there, you see it says shield 6+. That means the enemy could only save the 4 hits we landed on the roll of a 6+. That was determined by comparing the power of the attack against the defense of the target. So when power is 3 or more greater than the enemy defense, it's overwhelming. The enemy has a dismal chance of saving damage. They only succeed on a 6. So sadly, they're 3, 3, 1 and 3 save nothing, and those 4 get absolutely mulched. Because we flanked them, they only get to attack with 2 archers, so they only got 2 attacks. There you go, they rolled a 4 and a 5, so they got both hits. And then where defense 5, the enemy is power 3, so our defense is superior to the power, which means I get a 3-up save, or only the result of a 1 or 2 count as a fail. I roll a 6 and a 4, I fail none. The enemy's been defeated, so they're forced to roll a break test, which they've failed miserably. Our Warchief now swings, bopping 1 swordsman. The Leamington Spar lads go in, picking off another 3. The 3 swordsmen touching them get to attack and do nothing because we're quite tough. Human swordsmen without the charge are rather paltry. And then these 3 also swing back, also doing nothing. We win by 7. Again, that's rather crushing. And because they're surrounded, the poor swordsmen have nowhere to go and are cut down to a man. We have prevailed at the low cost of a few orc warriors, which will now heal. So everyone gets a point of experience. We get a flat sum of gold for victory, and then you get a little bit of passive regeneration if you took a bit of damage. You're given a choice between either healing or extra gold. Now for units that are of course already full size, the gold is a no-brainer, and then 7 of 14 is a touch low, so let's add a few more. There you go, 12 of 14 is more like it. To increase our damage output, we can stretch the unit out. You're only allowed to fight conventionally with the front 2 ranks, so I could in theory do this, in which case all 5 of those orc warriors will be doing nothing at all. Whereas if you do this, you get far more attacks. Ah! Fellow orc scouts. We shall have a rigorous debate on why you've made a dismal choice in opposing us. So again, orc scouts will be largely infant melee focused like us, but they will have their own distinguished unit of boar riders with which we must contend, which will probably be here. So what I'll do is I'll place my boar riders here to flank them. Easy to predict. So they bravely march forward directly into charge range. I'm just going to step back a bit. I want to be as far away as possible to make it difficult for those orc warriors to catch me. So yeah, I'm beyond their reach. I can clearly see them. And I doubt they'll be able to get far enough to intercept me. Yep, they tried, but they can't quite get there. And once again, we'll surround this unit. Now, of course, I left my poor Leamington Spa lads within the charge radius of these Boar Riders. However, I'm unconcerned because we got into the flank of the Boar Riders. This charge constitutes an intercept charge, which, among the other benefits, means the enemy cannot complete their charges. They are stuck. So we can simply disregard them. I can't reach them this turn, so I'll just wait for a moment. We may as well utilise our 2-to-1 advantage in a moment. Over here, I think this turn we will use the rally cry of the Warchief, as we're only power 4 base and will increase to power 5. But the enemy have a defense of 5, so going up to 6 is a big deal as it improves our wounding roll. As we are effectively an identical unit, it would be very convenient to break them as fast as possible. Here we go, our 10 attacks again with equal skill, force to hit. Good hit roll, and then they have a 5-up save rather than 4-up. Made no difference in this instance, but it was a good bit of prudence to make sure. Now, Orks have rather good stats, such as we do in general. However, their discipline is somewhat lacking. We are rather untrained at this moment. Well-intentioned and very vigorous, but not a lot of combat experience. Now that we've hopelessly outnumbered this poor unit of Orc warriors, we shall defeat them in rigorous debate from all directions simultaneously. It would be easier, I think, to escape here than engage in combat. Sadly, I can't escape in that direction, so I'll have to do this. The Stone Crushers here will have to make a dismal choice between either presenting their back to our large unit or the Boar Riders. They went with option 1. Oh dear. And then they've given us the double flank. They charge us, but yet again from the side and even from the back, an intercept charge is had, so they've absolutely finished. I could simply charge this alone, but I think I'm willing to risk the Boar Riders. It's rather unlikely that those 3 attacks manage to pick off a perfectly healthy Boar Rider, but in theory it could happen, so the min-max approach would be to not do that, but let's be a bit bullish. Oh, double 6. So do it, so they could do it if I roll double 1. Just a 2, we're fine. And take it out. They can't attack backwards, so all of that damage is unanswered. Fortunately, the 1 wound we sustained on the Boar Riders doesn't count as long as you don't lose the entire model. So because they have 2 wound each, they're fine. More gold, more experience, and enough to level up both the Leamington Spa lads and the Boar Riders. This is what leveling up looks like. You get a choice of 3 things, and the Orcs get their own special brand of options. Replenishment is you get more models if you take damage, but we're full, so why bother? Won't stay down. Recover an extra model that has died after each battle, or tough as nails, reroll 1s. Of those, we're fairly durable, so I'll go with reroll 1s. There you go. If we roll a 1 whenever we take a damage test, we're permitted to roll the dice again in an attempt to convert it into a successful result. Makes us more durable. And the Boar Riders, interesting, could do the same, reroll 1s for more durability, or Bloodlust, activate once per battle to gain +1 attack, so 3 each, and become fearless, which means they don't take negative penalties, discipline checks. Tough as Nails is really nice because it allows us to reroll the 1s, and with our high defense, it makes us very, very durable. But I think Bloodlust is hard to turn down. Yeah, we've had a few too many pints down Weatherspoons and get a bit rowdy. 12 or 14 is good, so we'll just take all the gold. And we want more battle, so up here. Against the lower class, there you go, the Goblin Raiders. They didn't even attend Oxbridge. Dismal. How will they orient themselves? Do you think there'll be 1 there, presumably, which I might be able to distract with this and then flank them. And this can stand here. No, they're all on this side. Very well, we'll go the long way. Cunningly using that first. The Goblin Wolf Riders are sufficiently fast that I'm not going to be able to outmaneuver them. So I'm afraid we're going to have to deal with being charged. I can't even get to the woods to save myself. we'll be best off just standing here and enduring it. Well, that unit, I'm afraid, has given me the flank charge. May as well take it. Do not interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake. So. Those Wolf Riders will indeed catch us, but so be it. We will use Bloodlust now. I'm going to cut through this as fast as possible. And the Goblin Mob is after our Orc Warriors. Our Orc Warriors, hand on heart, would prevail in this battle. We have equal skill, but I'm power 4, defense 4 against power 3, defense 3. So I would just win, and then they would almost certainly break and run with their woeful discipline of 5. However, we'd sustain unnecessary losses, so we may as well just avoid them for a moment. Over yonder, Warcry is usable. Let's game out whether or not there's a point here. We're already power 4, and the enemy is defense 3, so increasing power to 5 is irrelevant, as going from 1 power superior to defense to 2 power superior to defense is of no value. You only get value once you're 3 or more, so that's irrelevant. Over here, however, we're power 4. We will increase to 5 because of the hand weapon. We charge plus 1 power, so and then use it, and another power make us 6, which does matter because it's only defense 3. So I will do this because I want this unit dead and gone as fast as possible. And here we'll simply wait a moment. Here we go. So 15 attacks now because we have 3 each with Bloodlust. A somewhat average number of hits, and even that 5 can't save them. The enemy rolled the greatest possible result, double 1, the lower the better. However, because they had to roll a -1 on 2 dice due to all the damage sustained, they couldn't possibly succeed. The Warchief instantly rips a Wolf Rider apart in exchange for 2 Orcs. And then, well, they only lost by 1, which is rather impressive, but they ran away. I could charge this immediately, but then there's no way to reach this, so I'll just skip for now. This unit has rallied with yet again another roll of double 1. That is well and truly the bravest unit of Goblin Wolf Riders to walk the earth. I will have to deal them directly. They've also rallied. I've criticised their discipline and they have shown me the error. They are in fact incredibly brave. Avoiding this wood as it halves our movement for walking through it, so we can just, maybe not, I'll have to just go a bit straight forward. As long as I reach that unit, that's fine. There you go. Breaking from combat is disastrous, as even if you successfully rally, more often than not the units you ran away from will simply recharge you the turn after. To try escaping this way now, otherwise we'll get trapped in the corner. Safe. Warchief tears another one apart. Oh, there's one lonely little snaggletooth left. Whee! Only 10 attacks this time, and only wounding on 5s. Somehow, unless they roll double 1. They could try double 1 again, it still wouldn't make a difference. Touch aggressive, but that's fine. We're clever. No, I can't quite charge them with the lads here, so we'll just have to carry on. I'm going to rush over as fast as possible. They go around the extreme long way with the Bull Riders. They're rather honest. I think they're getting fed up with us wiggling away. Can't go there. It's not good enough. What about 7.7? Yes, we are out just. Now, the enemy's morale is capitulating as we speak. However, We may as well continue to draw them out. Interesting, they've decided to try and face both units, which has allowed us to, if I position correctly, flank them with the Leamington Spar lads. Were it not for this rock in the way, I may even get the Boar Riders around there as well. Now we could charge now, but why would I allow the Goblin Mob an opportunity to injure my valiant Orc Warriors? So what would, if there was a next turn, what would happen is we would gleefully take the rear charge. However, there won't be because the enemy has swapped to routing this turn, which means once I end the phase and it skips through, we automatically win the battle. If we needn't sustain any damage, then why do so? Our Warchief now has enough experience to level. Yeah, so discipline is rather terrible. It only comes into effect if you lose a combat, and we shouldn't be playing the game in such a way that we ever lose any combat, so let's avoid this. Coin counter grants an extra 5% to the flat sum of gold we earn, which is very little even over the course of a full campaign. And we can calculate this ourselves now. So we've got 64, I believe that number is up there. So what, 5%, 10% is 6.4, so 3.2 gold. I mean, fine, it's not going to be enough. Or Warcry gives 2 extra power and move speed. Fine. A true war. These accompanying Orc Warriors won't stay down, so they can regenerate quite effectively. I think that's a good idea. Okay, full health ones heal, and then 11 is probably fine because that's 11 plus the Warchief. So yeah, I think we'll just take the gold. That's a perfectly sized unit once there's 11 and their commander. Okay, get our shop. And then we can buy an Orc Brute retinue, so some elite, some heavy Orc infantry. Leaving me with 133 gold, of which I would like to immediately purchase heavy armor on the Boar Riders. The reason being is that it's a crucial break point, the heavy armor. They're currently defense 5, so improving them by 1 to defense 6 means a lot of the power 3 attacks we're receiving will have a very, very hard time of actually injuring us, so that's very good. For other choices, we could give Thraka here some upgrades, force the opponent to reroll their saves, or even a great weapon, so more power and even more power when he charges. That would be basically all of our gold though, so are any of these good? I could speed the Orc Warriors up. This is a rather good combination. So the Orc Warriors start with a hand weapon and shield, meaning they have +1 power on the charge and a permanent +1 defense. So on the charge they'll become power 5 and have always defense. However, you could purchase instead 2 hand weapons, which forfeits both of those benefits in exchange for an extra attack for the front rank. So very potent from an aggressive standpoint, however you lose some defensive capacity. You can then combo that with heavy armor to gain your defense back in exchange for movement. So you can actually, so you'll still be defense 4, but you'll have an extra attack on the front rank in exchange for only 1 power, which is a massive improvement. It would also cost too much to do right now, so we'll do that later. Rather for now, I think we'll invest in upgrading Thraka himself. So great weapon and cruelty. There you go. Hits like an absolute truck. He's now power 5 base and will become 6 when he charges, which is good because it also means he's now perfectly in line with his new friends, the Orc Brutes. We of course have to rename them from Orc Brutes. That's a very uncivilized name, not at all befitting these distinguished gentlemen. Now we'll face Korgak, a fellow cello and chess player. Scintillating wit, Korgak. So there's not going to be a great deal of subtlety with this battle. They're going to walk forward, we're going to walk forward, and may the better Orc win. Frustratingly, Orcs can't navigate through terrain effectively. It will slow us down, but we'll just have to suck it up. The entirety of their army is on this side, so we'll have to make our way around quickly. If we're lucky, we can simply charge the unit instantaneously. They have a giant, which is going to be a bit of an issue. Now, trolls are interesting. There's only 3 of them, but they have 3 wounds each. And more importantly, they regenerate. So unless you kill off an entire troll by doing all 3 wounds in a single turn, 1 or 2 wounds will heal automatically and the troll will be fine. So if we're going to attack the trolls, it has to be with utmost force in a single blow. In this case, they're going to come forward. I'm happy to wait for the boar riders to kill through this, so I'll simply have this unit stand here. And then you are almost certainly going to have to keep away from this rather mean looking fellow. Send the boar riders in immediately. Now their Warchief has used their own war cry, so +1 power for everyone. However, it's a terrible turn for it because they get almost no benefits due to us being only a single unit engaged in combat with very limited attacks. Back. Calmly advance in the opposite direction of the enemy. Here come the trolls. Okay, well this battle is happening right now it seems. Well, I'm more than inclined to accommodate. May as well have this unit flank the trolls. They're endeavouring to reach us, but won't quite this turn. And with this unit flanked, therefore intercepted, we can effectively ignore its movement arc. Start making our way around in this direction. Now, do we war cry ourselves for +1 power and +2 movement? The movement is, of course, worthless because we've already used it all. So, would the power benefit us? We're power 4. We'll become power 5 on the charge, and they are defense 5, so the 1 extra power would benefit here. However, even if we don't break them, I'm unconcerned as I'll immediately flank them with this unit and butcher them. So I'll wait until we engage more units simultaneously. Here we go. So cheekily, characters get to fight sideways even though they're not the closest unit in base contact. So he's power 5, but as we bought heavy armor, we're now defense 6, so our save remains 3+. There you go, the 3 still works. Without the heavy armor, that would have wounded us. We have our whole 15 attacks. 6 hits, bit below average, but they rolled a terrible save, so it makes up for it. And then the brutes are all the way up at power 6, so we actually only get a 4-up save. We take 1 wound. Yep, heavy armor kept all of our friends alive, and they break because they're orcs with terrible discipline. I could immediately throw myself into this unit. However, they may choose to depart of their own accord, so we're going to wait a moment to do that. Forward inches the giant. That's of little concern. Let's just back away from it again. We'll make sure not to accidentally pin ourselves against the wall so we can continue to retreat into later turns, like so. You're obviously going to come over here. Let's establish, we'll place the boar riders in such a way that if this unit runs and gets out of the way, we can flank this unit. Or if they choose to stay there, then I can rear charge the brutes instead. Need to go a bit further forward. Simply using the same trick as last time, but obviously that would be good enough there. We're definitely in their side arc, and we can definitely reach either unit. They'll get out of the way and I should be able to draw. Don't know if I'll actually be able to draw line of sight. They rally, so they'll move. But that terrain may actually block me from making the charge awkwardly. Let's just step back a touch. So. Do we war cry now? I could make this unit power 6 on the charge, thereby allowing me to hurt the trolls. The trolls, honestly, this is probably the biggest hassle, so yes, I will benefit the... If I was going to do that, I really should have done it immediately. Oh well. All greater war now. They get out of the way by phasing through me. Interesting. There you go. The trolls had an irritatingly good saving throw there, so they took a lot less damage than they should, but we still killed 1 exactly. But because they rolled double 1, they're going to remain in combat. Successfully flanked this unit. I'd very much like for these trolls to no longer be here, so I'll rear charge them. Lads, keep distracting the giant. Frustrating, this unit does now rally, so we'll have to deal with this later. The trolls were forced to re-roll the save because we purchased the cruelty magic item, but they rolled a 5 into a 6. Their save actually got better as time passed. They squashed 3 orc warriors. The brutes, we only just barely win, which is a touch annoying. Because they lost and they're surrounded, they are cut down. This goes much better, and I don't even sustain a loss. Very good work, riders. It's become a bit of a mess. I could charge the riders in immediately, but I suspect I'll have to use them to flummox these brutes in a moment. I'm compelled to go first. Very well. They'll step forward. This unit, I'm afraid, is trapped currently between a rock and a hard place, so I'll have to move my own allies first. Get out of the way. Okay, they've decided to come back. Of course they have. Getting around them. Really, it all depends on where that giant goes. Makes the worst possible decision, comes to hit all of my units. Very well. Someone's going to have to stop it. Sadly, it's not going to be you because I can't get there. I don't particularly want to fight the giant. It's rather difficult to handle. This unit rallies, so that also has to be dealt with. Whereas I could charge, depending on who the giant charges first, I can simply do this to beat them. This is going to turn into a mess now. Okay. I could flee this unit to prevent it from being hit by the giant, which is probably a good idea, as there's no way I can win that fight. I can draw them out of position somewhat and then hopefully flank it with the Warchief. This will simply have to take the battle, there's nothing else I can do. That's a shame. A change of plan, perhaps? I could use the Warchief to flank these and the Boar Riders to hit the giant. I'm not going to be able to get behind this unit with my Boar Riders. The reason I say it's a shame is because this unit is sadly the only one that has any real prospect of injuring it. But I think this will work anyway. We'll just come around. Alternatively, I could simply sacrifice this unit. Giant's Wrath. Go for the larger unit instead. Okay, we are the exact same unit type, so it's a draw. However, they do outnumber me, so without support of this nature, we will lose quickly, which is why I've done it. I can continue to flee, so I can buy myself at least an extra turn, thereby allowing me to eliminate the rest of their army. That trick worked once, sadly, because the giant is faster than us. We won't be able to legally declare a flee move now. We've run out of wiggle room. So we're allowed to reroll our ones, so he stays. We would have lost combat were it not for the Boar Riders. We do enough damage such that we actually win. Over yonder, I hit twice, and both go through. Ah, it's a duel between the Warchiefs. How about a nice game of chess? We won. Mate in 2. We did 2 wounds. This time if I see not enough move speed to get out of charge range there, we have to take the punishment. What I will do to try and expedite matters is charge this unit. The faster I kill them, the more the enemy morale drops. The less damage I take overall. This unit rallies yet again. Oh, there's an easy counter for that. We lose, but we only lose 2, which is perfectly acceptable losses. And because of the tree line, we're actually saved from being charged again. How very convenient. I knew at the outset there was simply no chance we were going to be able to defeat the giant, so kill everything else. The enemy is already routing this turn, so further combat is irrelevant. But I'm feeling mean, so I will continue to charge them. And then this is all academic, but I'll show you what I would do in case there was extra turns. These units will disappear, thereby allowing the entire army to round on this. Victory would involve some sort of surrounding of the giant with the boar riders and the brutes. So the warrior units took a fierce kicking, but then the harder to replenish, more elite units didn't. It's much easier to heal these than it is these, so if we were to take damage, we would want it to be this way around. Yep. We're basically back up to full strength, and we've beaten the elite. Forgotten Tomb, interesting. So we send our brave explorers into the depths. They risk their own lives in exchange for possible treasure in gold and magic items. We don't particularly want to risk high quality units, as there's no benefit or kind of added amount of gold you receive as reward for the more elite the units send in. So we'll just send in, there you go, 10 of the orc boys. There you go, we lose 3 in exchange for 71. Fine. That's basically no actual impact on our overall power. Against Gundrick and Vilhide. Yep, so there's one very, very scary unit hiding in here. But first and foremost, there's a unit of handgunners that'll be on one of these flanks, probably the open-ended one. We'll put the boar riders here to counteract them. And the little one on the side to flank, and then these two might as well take up the centre. No, they're over on this side this turn. Right, we just have to walk up and do it the old-fashioned way. The gunning begins. Ouch. Well, they have rather intercepted their own allies there. I may be able to catch that unit of berserkers immediately. Yes, easily. So we can flank those and start getting through. For some reason I have predilection towards shooting this particular unit, so be it. I will use Bloodlust now, as berserkers are a right handful, so let's get rid of them. The Deep Guard are here. I could charge this unit forward, disregard the Deep Guard, and instead butcher the irritating handgunners as fast as possible, which I shall do. I don't want them constantly shooting me. And then this unit can cleverly distract that big scary block. I don't have to fight it, and we'll wait for someone to come help kill the Deep Guard. I think on balance we will actually lose that battle. 10 hits is rather good. 7 casualties. Those 2 guys get 2 attacks each, so they hit all 4 times. Doing only 1 wound though, so we are intact for now. Kill the handgunners, and I'm going to stick with the berserkers. Dwarves are almost guaranteed to rally with their high discipline, so if you have the opportunity, continuing to harass them is the way to go. And calmly step away. And here we'll do the same. Let's continue to lure him out. Do we use Warcry this turn for +1 power? Well, it would matter here, as it would no. Well, I'm power 5 now, 6 on the charge with great weapons, and I'll become 7 with Warcry, which gives me 3 more power than their defense, so that matters. And here we're power 4, 5 on the charge, we go up to 6, so it's irrelevant here, but it would matter here. And here, honestly, we'll win anyway, so no, we'll save it. All misses by our Warchief again. Oops. Somehow managed to lose 2 brutes to some handgunners. Still 2 berserkers left. Now, I could do that again and just stay on them all, which I think I shall do because they are that much of a hassle. Don't want them coming back. These 2 units can be effectively disregarded for a time, so we can make sure these are truly dead and gone. What I'll do is I'll start running this way. Makes it very easy to flank it later. You're still wasting time. Chasing a unit I will never allow you to catch. Ooh, let's finish off them this turn, please. If you could do better than 0 damage, that would be great. Yeah, once we land the hits, it's fairly easy to do damage because we've buffed the wound roll, but apparently landing them is proving to be a bit of a challenge. Oh, these two even hold, so we have to keep fighting them. And you somehow managed to find a way to defeat 2 berserkers. Okay, long term, what's going to happen? I could rear charge the deep guard in a moment. I'm definitely not going to rear charge this unit. I'm going to ignore it. Alright, come down here. Being a bit aggressive. Fortunately for me, they can be as aggressive as they like. They are a slower unit than us, so they'll never be able to catch me. Dwarven heavy armor there, letting them down. What I'd love to do is get this unit around to flank it. That might be a tall order. I can clearly charge them, but I think I'm not in the majority arc. Flank them here. Can't see them there. I have to keep going backwards inch by inch. Now I can see them. That may be enough, it may not. Let's see. Worth a try. If not, we'll send the Boar Riders in on their own. Hooray, we've defeated handgunners. Sadly, it's a front charge, which is terrible, so we'll just take the rear. Just in case this unit irritatingly decides to hold in combat, we'll do this. I'm going to Warcry this turn because, yes, their power, their defense 5, so going up to power 6 is going to matter a lot. So we can actually get through their ultra thick armor, their irritating masterwork armor, improving their saves. It actually made no difference at all because they're all 666 and a 4. And they hold. Great. Gonna need a lot of help here quickly. Please help, Orc Warriors. It's now 2 up because I've lost all my power, so only the roll of a 1 will hurt them. And I didn't roll any. This unit at least has 3, so we're not losing combat, but it's a draw. Fortunately, my dead Boar Riders have left enough of a gap for this unit to now charge in. Otherwise, I wouldn't legally be able to fit there. But now I can. How sporting of you. Died just the right amount. Look at the amount of resources I have to commit just to try and get through a single unit of Deep Guard. Please stop killing my Boar Riders, they're hard to replenish. Still 1 left, but they lost by enough that I think he's given up. Enemy morale will now capitulate of its own accord, so simply do not engage in any further combat. Frankly, the only way we would prevail over this unit, I think, is if I triple charged it, and even then I'd be somewhat concerned. Yes, because it's got a character, yes, because they're tough dwarves, but really because of shield wall. So the commander and retinue reroll all failed damage saves, or in essence for a turn become borderline invincible. That used to be a 1-use only ability, however, for whatever reason it's been rebalanced to infinite use. They can simply pop it every single turn. There, we've just ignored them for long enough such that they've decided that this is nonsense, we are retiring. Retire to the village for a cup of tea. Again, some chip damage here and there. Not as bad as it could have been against such a tough foe. Number of levels. The brutes have leveled. Can also get their own bloodlust. Excellent. Help increase our damage output. The warriors have toughness now, so they reroll 1s, and now have won't stay down, so they replenish quite well. And the Boar Riders. Ooh, interesting choice. More of them, or recover an extra model. I think more of them is the way to go. 5, and then 9 of 10 is good enough. These could use... I think I have enough gold because I'm taking so many elites, so I'll take the healing. Myself a bit of extra oomph. Don't need any more. This unit gets all of his attacks while centered like that, so that's fine. Now we need to recall that after this there's a campsite to heal before the boss, so we don't have to heal quite so vigorously at the end of this if we are injured. There'll likely be some annoying cavalry with which we must contend, but so be it. I think I can trust the boar riders to smash through anything. Yeah, they can defeat goblin wolf riders easy enough. We have a 3-up save re-rolling ones. We rolled a 1, we got to re-roll it. We took no damage. Hurrah. What will likely happen is this unit will come charging down. I don't think I can quite get there to intercept, but it's worth a try. Here, if we're lucky. No, because if I had a faster movement, I could, in theory, charge them anyway, but with them being as fast as they are, I can't quite outposition them. Perhaps if I used War Cry, I could give myself 2 extra move. But why? I mean, denying them the charge is nice because it means I get a 2-up save rather than a 3-up. Then again, we can do some maths here. They have 10 attacks on average. Well, on average, they have 10 attacks, and then they'll hit on 4, so they get 5 attacks on average. And of those, I get a 3-up save, so I take 1.66 wounds or something along those lines. So maybe I lose 1 if I'm somewhat unlucky. Otherwise, I should just win and crush them, so let's just take the charge. We'll ignore those. I suppose you could battle this in a moment, or rather you'll have to. These can charge whatever they want. We can't really stop them. This is the one that's tough as nails. This is the one with bloodlust, I think, yes. We'll just allow them to hit us. There's nothing I can do. The wolf riders, rabble though they are, do have an advantage in terms of movement. Do I use Bloodlust this turn? Well, on average, we're power 5 already. With superior toughness, and I don't think I need to bother. We'll just win. I'll save it for possibly the trolls or the big mob. The archers are going what I can only describe as the wrong way. Okay. Goblin mob's going to rush forward. I could try and avoid it for a bit to see if I can get a better charge later. If not, we can just take the exact charge we have now, which is a head-on battle anyway. It makes no difference. Trolls are content to face me here. Again, I can stall for a moment, see if I can do better. They reach nothing, which I thought they would do. Fight the flanks. Slightly below average. And they rolled hilariously above average. So unless... okay, it's actually... You somehow drew against Goblin Wolf Riders. Do expect better. Over yonder. We do at least win this one. But they had an amazing discipline check, so we're stuck in preposterous combat with rather terrible Goblin Wolf Riders. Expecting a more resound result there, I'm afraid. I am going to use this now. I don't want you trapped here anymore. This is ridiculous. Okay, and I'm afraid because they've moved that in the unit now, I'm going to have to start accepting some charges. If I'm very clever, I might be able to use my flank here as a means of avoiding being charged, because the AI can't legally put themselves there. Yeah, obviously the majority of their unit is in my side, but I don't think they can... They might be able to fit there just and flummox me. Oh well. Take this battle as planned. It needs to be a bit tighter to the wall. There we go. Still took far too much damage, but we did win. That's more like it. 0 wounds sustained. But, you know, the average roll on 2 dice is 7, and they keep somehow rolling less than 5. They can reach me there. I could flee to deny them the charge and then try dealing with the trolls. I'm going to have to, because taking that in the side is fairly awful. No, I think I'll tough it out. I will use Greater Warcry now, because the power helps in both instances, and the extra move for the riders is good. Doesn't really help over there. Do I want the extra bloodlust? It's not great because it only benefits a single individual. Well, no, both of these we go from 2 to 4, and the character. It may be enough to get us the win. I'll go on, I might as well try. See if we can win even when flanked. And cleverly, they waited for that unit to move right at the end, so I can't simply disregard it. I have to charge first. I have to assume it rallies. It does not, so it was going to run away anyway, so that was wasted. I lost an extra orc, but again, they took more losses. Again, amazing, bravest goblins ever. This unit only gets to save on 6s though, because we're now power 6. And we roll a 4-up save and we don't roll a single one, so it's actually a draw. The mathematics of this battle have been absolutely atrocious. Yeah, again, they rolled double 5 twice. That's not very average. So we actually managed to lose even with all my help. And because I didn't kill a troll outright, they get to just be alive because they regenerate. It's jolly good. We are going to get an amount of healing now because we're in a lot of trouble. Come over here and save us, please. That'd be appreciated. Stop. I get 6 attacks. You roll a single hit. This unit is at least doing well. There we go. We finally won one convincingly. That's more like it. We actually fight with the unit, but they rolled 1 in 36 chance, the double 1 to stay in combat. Of course they did. And crush all of these now. You have infuriated me, goblins. You lose another one, but it's finally dead, and your reward for prevailing is now being shot to death. Last through the trolls. And these are defeated, so it's really just that arch unit left. Don't have an effective way of getting to them, I'm afraid. It's useful charging here because then they get out of the way. I could charge immediately. I suppose it's better than letting them shoot me. They only get 10 attacks when shooting as opposed to 15, and at least I get to hit them, so we'll try. Go on, Leamington Spa lads, you are dignified, you are proper orcs. Low tier goblins. There's a total of 2 of them, brilliant start. Hey, we got one. Because of tough as nails, we actually managed to draw. If you hold one more turn, I may be able to get some assistance over to you. Quickly, Boar Riders, quickly. Made it. And then, tough as nails means we don't run away. Although in this instance that may have been preferable, as now means we're entitled to take even more damage. Have a space bar to skip the rest now. Northern goblins flee the field. And wow. Even then we wouldn't have taken any damage. Look how tough we are. Against units that only power 3, having a superior defense as tough as nails means we have a 3-up save and get to reroll 1s. So we only die immediately on a 2, and if we get the reroll has a good odds of winning anyway. Now in terms of our wounds, when we go to the campsite, the Warchief extra gold and extra wound or recruiter, you immediately get a rank on new units. That one. And the Orc warriors down here can have their own version of Bloodlust. Yeah, it's just an amazing ability. Do some nice damage. Okay, so at the camp, the way camps work is we'll instantly be giving a round of healing for free, and then we're given a choice between either a point of experience or a second round of healing. So we can factor that in when it comes to our current standing. So this unit will become 9 of 10 or 10 of 10, which is good enough, so we'll take the gold. This unit will only become 7 or 8, which is kind of low, so I'll take healing now, and so I can take the XP and be at full strength. This unit is guaranteed to become full strength, so the gold. And then the Boar Riders will move to 6 of 8 because it's 2 guaranteed, which is kind of the perfect size for the unit because having extra boars at the back don't get you a lot of attacks, they're just extra wounds. But at our toughness and our incredible durability, I actually wouldn't mind that. Usually I'd be min-max a bit harder with unit sizes, but with these super durable boars, I actually don't mind having a couple sat back here. In the shop we can get a wyvern for our orc. That counts. There you go. It's a new unit, but it's a regal mount for our noble orc lord, and it immediately gets a level because we've got recruiter, so I'll improve its skill. Well trained wyvern. We're immediately going to buy True Strike for our Warchief, as he can't seem to hit anything to save his life, and plate barding for the wyvern is also crucial because it starts at defense 5, and then we move it to 6, and again, as the boar riders, that defense 6 breakpoint is super valuable. Other units, 199 gold exactly. Ooh, the curse standard for even more attacks, that's nice. But I think I would like to start, I could do the full combo on the orc warrior, so I give them hand weapons and armor, so they have the same amount of defense but more attacks. Then I can give that one the banner. I'll go full orc warrior build, leaving me with 29, which is not enough for anything else, which is a shame because there's some good items, but the earlier I do this, the more effective they can become faster. So I'm willing to expend the gold now. We heal, and as planned, it basically gets everyone up to full, which allows me to freely take experience. So, which means I'm at this army's current max strength to go into the Act 1 boss. So you can see the model, see all of the orcs now have two attacks each, which is very nice. Synergize with Bloodlust, that means that on one turn they actually get 3 attacks for the front rank. So what, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 24. Quite good. Which we're absolutely going to need because we're facing Marius the Undying, so undead. Lots and lots of undead. High number of attacks is going to be rather useful here. Our airborne lord here is going to stand in the centre because we can fly over difficult terrain and disregard it. And well, obviously there's going to be a unit of irritating cavalry somewhere, so I'll try and outposition them with the boar riders. No promises though. It depends where they are. If the cavalry is here, I can easily get them into the side. But if they're on this side, then I guess I could send him that way to catch them. Yeah, we'll do it that way. Someone will be able to flank something. There's a unit of dogs as well I have to deal with, okay. We can safely ignore these standard units in the middle for quite a while. It's these ones on the sides that worry us, and I think, honestly, allowing them to charge me is fine. They'll do a lot of damage, but then we'll just kill them. So yeah, in you come, dogs. Good, that's what I wanted to see there. That is basically a guaranteed flank. Assuming I can fit. I think I can just about squeeze in there. Oh, it's going to be tight. Yeah, well, it's worth a try. The dogs may attempt to intercept me here, which is a tad annoying, but so be it. Okay. Well, this battle is apparently happening first, no matter what. Oh, you got me there, dogs. If I moved over here, I could use Warcry now to speed this unit up to... No, I can't intercept them. I might just be able to squeeze into their flank. It's tight, but it's worth a try. Warcry otherwise would be increasing power. However, if we have a look, pretty much the entirety of their army is defense 3. In fact, everything except the Skeleton Knights is defense 3. And they're honestly just their defense 5. So power 6 there would be good. But we're going to end up in a brutal slugfest with them no matter what we do, so I think we may as well just save it. If I can speed this up to prevent me from being charged here, it would be really nice, because then if I'm stuck here, I'll end up then getting stuck fighting zombies, which is just such a drag. No, let's just do Warcry immediately and fight them. I can win. And then you, what on earth am I going to do with the Wyvern? I'm going to start flying over these and getting in their way. Whole bunch of upfront battles. Okay, I have to go first. I will definitely Bloodlust here. There are, what is that, 20 wounds worth of skeleton knights to slowly cut our way through. I don't need Bloodlust to kill 5 wounds of orcs or dogs. I'll save that. The zombies for some reason have chosen not to flank me. I appreciate it. Over here, I think I would be better off staying away from the White Lord for the moment. It's rather tough. Then I'll send the Wyvern this way to distract us, to get in the way of some of this. Do I Warcry immediately to help with this? I'm power 5. I'll become power 6 when they charge. So Warcry makes me power 7, which doesn't help. And then where it would help here, but they'll die anyway. And then here it doesn't. I think we'll just kill them all regardless. So no, I'll save it for later. Yep, this may hurt a bit. I do get a 3-up save though, so I'm fine for now. There you go. We're through an entire rank immediately. And because the way undead work is they never run away. Rather, when they lose combat, they just roll a dice and they take 1 to 3 extra wounds. So they lost, and so they took another 2 wounds. Dogs frustratingly did survive with 1, and that 1 holds me in place. That's embarrassing. Here, I lose a disproportionate number of Orc warriors for again failing to kill them. Why is SOVL torturing us like this? Or next turn, you can't delay me forever. We'll pass. Okay, that's rather worrying because depending on where this zombie unit winds up, they may end up flanking me here. I would ordinarily be ready to expect that I could move. Yeah, okay, so they've got the flank. I mean, I can't stop them. Okay, in that case, what this Wyvern has to spend this turn doing, once I see where... Just move away from that to start. Good. Now that I know where the skeletons have gone, I can do this without being caught. I can flank the zombies to save my poor riders. There we go again. I didn't do well this time, but we still won. Because winning by just 1 means they crumble. So there's 1.5 left. The brutes were an excellent choice to face this unit. They've got the raw damage output to take them on. Over yonder. Oh, I lose another 2 orc boys. Sorry, warriors, to a single hound. I'll have to charge this to save this unit, and everyone else is free. Now you're, I'm afraid, liable to be intercepted in a moment, so to prevent that, we could send the Boar Riders up here and flank this unit. Then once this is dead, they can come over and help the Wyvern try and fight its way through the zombies. Oh, that's not good at all. You're going to get hit from 2 sides. Do I Warcry now to speed? I think so, because it helps kill this fast. I need to speed these units up to get around these. Don't want to fight you. I'm far more interested in what's happening over on this side of the map. Please hurry, Orc brutes. No, that was not the turn to do that. If they roll a 1, phew, okay, because they rolled a 2, they disappeared and I can now move. Here we go. So I hit every time and wound every time, so that's 3. And then the Wyvern contributes another 3. Great. We are, what, 6 where? Another 2. 8 in total. We're about a third of the way there. Now you're going to get flanked in a royally... Oh, I could instead back charge the back of this unit, which lets me do amazing damage to this, cut through it, and then turn to face the skeletons. That would probably result in what? This unit then charging me in the flank, which is a bit of a pain. It'll probably take about 2, maybe even 3 turns for the brutes to get over there. Do I trust the defense 6 Wyvern to hold on here and not take too much damage? Probably not, honestly. It's going to run out of health, so no, I'm going to do this. Let's just kill that block as fast as possible. Well, at least if they stay there, I can charge them. Well, maybe. No, I don't think I can see them now. No, I can draw line of sight, so if this is well and truly dead and gone, I can then flank them anyway. I'll definitely Bloodlust this turn, because I need to do as much damage as possible to get through. And mercifully, they're ignoring me here, so I can hop right by. Use my most beleaguered unit to distract their most intimidating one. Brutes try and get into the game. I know it's going to be a while for you. You're pretty slow. Here we go again. It's 5s this turn, not 6s, so a few of the annoying zombies are going to survive. I get a 2-up save though because I'm defense 6. Didn't stop me from rolling triple 1. And then this unit sadly was power 4, so it got to hit me more effectively. That isn't enough to kill through the skeleton all the zombies, so we're stuck here. Yeah, they'll crumble a few more, but that's not good enough. That's going to get me flanked again. The Wyvern's only got 1 wound left, so he's going to die this turn. You should get it good. I can flank that unit now. This is your last turn to help contribute some damage. You did well. But you did in fact ultimately die to a unit of zombies. How embarrassing. The zombies do absolutely nothing to my boar riders because of our defense 6. And this is all wasted wounds. You'd rather have attacked this. They crumble. Annoyingly, this doesn't count as a dual-ended charge now because that unit's gone. But I can at least intercept them to keep them away from my poor boar riders. Bloodlust, our second unit of Orc warriors, now have 3 attacks each. I rather need this unit to continue being distracted by me, so I'm going to move back toward them. And here, the only thing you'll be able to fight is this unit later. So we were wrong, it didn't take 2 turns, it in fact took about 4 turns to get around. 1 more wound. We win. The zombies are purely there as a tar pit, they do nothing offensively. So we did how many attacks? 18 attacks. No, that was the saving throw, beg pardon. We actually did, the game will let me scroll, 24 attacks, of which we hit a perfectly average 18 times, 3 plus. No, sorry, the average is 16. We did above average, and then they rolled really well on saves though to compensate, so they only took 9 casualties, but yeah, basically the unit's gone. I don't know what that White Lord is doing, but we'll ignore him for now. We'll come over here. If that unit is intact, we'll charge it. If not, don't worry. You go through another Orc. They lose, that's half of their attacks gone. Just 6 zombies left. We still have 18 attacks even without the blood. Yeah, the extra, all that and we invested in the Orc warriors was definitely worth it. They're very, very powerful now compared to what they used to be. I think Marius has just had enough. Just decided to leave. This unit of zombies will be dead and gone, so I think, yeah, let's play along. We'll accommodate him. We don't have to be so rough about it. If he's not willing to fight us, we don't have to fight him. 1 zombie left, but because they crumble a minimum of 1, they're all gone. They're routing this turn, so Marius will simply saunter away to safety. We'll wave him goodbye. Bye, Marius. Farewell. Battle well fought. Commiserations and congratulations all round. The Wyvern got mulched, but we'll fix that now. A bunch of passive healing, and it's better than usual because we have the perks that give us a few more. We're back up to 4 or 5, that's good enough. Leamington Spa lads. Really just need a few more of them, that's all they're lacking now, so yeah, perfect timing. There we go, 13 to 15. You're full HP, well done. And then the brutes. Rerolling their own damage saves of 1 would be quite nice because they're defense 5, so it makes them rather durable. Skillful would also be good, but I mean, fighting elites and cavalry, such as what we usually throw them into, they're at least skill 4 anyway, so it's not going to increase our attack potency much at all, so I think durability is the way to go. And the boar riders, that's what I wanted, so it's a bit unlucky we didn't get it earlier, but it's tough as nails synergizes very well with defense 6 because where the defense is so high that against power 3 you get a 2-up save and then you're re-rolling 1, so it's a 2-up save re-rolling the only fails of 1s, so you effectively only have a 1 in 36 chance of overtaking any wounds. We are well and truly tough as nails, and against anything that's power 4 or 5, you get a 3-up save rerolling one, so still super durable. 6 is honestly fine. You need to heal, that's not good enough. Do we want to get through with 6? I think that's good enough for now, honestly. We'll just take the gold. Act 1 promptly defeated. Right, I think we'll stop there. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If so, please do consider liking and subscribing. It does, of course, help out the channel and share the videos around, which I appreciate. It also helps SOVL out. The game is entirely free to play, and I can't recommend it enough. It's got me hooked for a woefully disproportionate number of hours for how much it costs. So if you in any way like the look of what you see here, I do recommend giving it a chance. Have any notes on what you'd like to see for SOVL? There's a whole bunch of factions. The first 5 are free, and then the paid for ones require you cough up a little bit. So if you want to see those and just get a feel for what the factions are like, let me know. Or if you just want to chat with others down in the comment section, that's great too. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.